you expect Mondays to look miserable like this. But it's Tuesday, but it's still the first day of school. The weather the last couple of days have been one day hot, one day rain, one day hot, one day rain. Yesterday was a hot day. I was able to get out in the yard and I tried to finish weed whacking the yard, but I ran out of fuel and I didn't have any more two-stroke oil to go and buy fuel to be able to mix it. And that's because I'm sticking to the thing of using still fuel. I know it's probably not the cheapest way to go, the most economical way to go, but the one bottle added to a 5-litre jerry can gives you the proper ratio for the tools I've got. Doing that because I have a feeling that when I had some other two-stroke oil and I was mixing it to the 50-to-1 ratio, obviously wasn't spot on or something like that. The weed whacker really started playing up, and I think the chainsaw was too. Mowing took some time again. The blade hit bamboo and rebent, so I kept trying to dig into the ground. I'm going to have to buy a new blade. I don't feel like I did a hell of a lot yesterday. I did take Batman for a walk. It was in the afternoon after I'd done the weed whacking and I couldn't get Sam to wake up. So I just took Batman for a walk up the street, and just going to the end, like one end of the area and back was just under a kilometre, so the same sort of distance that we do when I take them out to the bush area. He did okay, which was good, and when we got back it was dinner time and I fed him and he ate all his dinner really quick. Didn't do much to get ready for today. I've had a few people email me with requests for the timetable. I just thought I'll wait till I get to school because then I know I'm guaranteed a good connection to the server. Doing it remotely, it can be done. It's not as snappy and it's not like it's unreliable, but if I lose the connection or anything like that, it's all right. So the first 2 days are staff development days. The students don't come in until Thursday. It's happening already. I've already got too many things swirling around in my head for what needs to be done. This is my first time out too with the new cover on, I think, in the rain. So it will be interesting to see what it looks like in the tray after a trip in the rain. It's Thursday and it's the first day of the kids arriving. Looks like this up here might not be like that down at work, but yesterday was it was a second day of professional development. I missed out on the second session because I had to concentrate on trying to sort out stuff with the timetable and issues for new staff to the school who were able to sign into our systems but couldn't see their timetables. They couldn't get to the system to mark roles or anything. So what do I do when I've got classes tomorrow? Lots and lots of troubleshooting, and by the end of the day it seemed to have gotten worse. By the end of the day it was a case of couldn't find those staff, couldn't find other staff. Old staff from years ago were showing up. This is pretty important because the kids come back tomorrow. I had no emails this morning, but it's only years 7, 11 and 12 today. I know that I'm going to have a lot of Year 11 students coming to me because they're missing subjects on their timetable, whether it's because 2 of their subjects appeared on the same line and they missed out on a reserve or something like that, or we do have a number of students who they weren't successful at getting through Year 11 last year, so they're back in Year 11 and they have to pick subjects from scratch, like all brand new subjects, because there's not much likelihood of them having the same subjects at the same time because the lines just change every year because it's based on the kids' choices. I only have Year 12 today, and that's period 2 I'm hoping that most of the year 11 students I'll have sorted by start of period 2. Don't want to start missing classes straight away. I've got 2 professional development courses I'm doing this year, and first one starts next week and the other one starts towards the end of February. I'm going to be out of school a fair bit again. Anyway. Looks like it's going to be a lot warmer today. Already felt like it with the sun beaming into the backyard as I was getting ready. Just a bit of fog up in the valleys and that sort of thing this morning, and there might be a bit of that down around Penrith and St Mary's. The way it's looking, it'll probably burn off pretty quick. Just before going to bed last night, I was thinking about doing my journaling and thinking, well, what was the stuff that I worked on today? And I know that I was spending a long time just sort of helping kids who had subjects missing off their timetable in year 11. And then the word timetable in my head went, bugger, I forgot to print out 8, 9 and 10's timetables for today. I've tried to get up and leave a little bit earlier today. I've succeeded, not nearly as early as I might have liked, but I'll be able to get down to work and just send the timetables for those year groups straight through to the office. I sent an email to the office staff to say, when you get a call from me, can you please make sure that the big colour printer is available? And today I've got year 10 and year 12s. Year 10 class is what I'm picking up from one of the other staff. We had to shuffle classes around a little bit. He had the year 9 metal and timber, and I asked him which one he'd prefer to keep this year, and he said the metal. So I picked up the timber class, and that was so that he was made available to pick up another junior, like a 7-8 class. Otherwise I couldn't have done the rotations. And then the boss came and saw me yesterday. That just made me remember that we've been getting more enrolments. If year 7 keeps growing, we're going to have to create a 6th class, because there's 5, just because of class sizes. And we've got no way of staffing a 6th class. And it would mean that we'd have to make 7 STEM and Kappa. It was hard enough just getting the classes I've got covered. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I wasn't absolutely devastated that we didn't get timber or metal in year 9 or timber in year 11, because I couldn't have staffed them. I would normally have 7 staff in my staff room, and this year I've only got 6 who have gone on leave. Isn't she gorgeous? Wait there, Papa. Leaf-tail gecko. I got a feeling this was the guy that was over in the shed that I freaked out. You stay there. But I do know that I had more than one here before. It's alright, mate. You can sit in my laundry bathroom if you like. I'll just try and keep Batman away. Just for reference, yeah, he's a bit timid, but there's my finger, so you can see his size. His head's probably about from the end of my nail to my knuckle, but a bit thicker. Start of a new week. Going for one of the school polos today. So it's meant to reach 38 degrees down at work. I'm going to assume quite humid. Saturday wasn't too bad in terms of temperature. There was a little bit of light rain just in the morning. There was a fair bit of rain overnight. That Friday night, I think. Sunday, I didn't actually look at the temperature, but as soon as you opened the door, you felt the heat because it had been wet everywhere. It was just really humid and muggy. It wasn't a day to want to do anything in the yard. I did want to do stuff outside, but I just didn't do it. The one thing that I did get done was cleaning out all the filters in all the air conditioners in the house. They were quite dirty, so that was a good thing to get done for a day like yesterday. The reason I switched on this morning was I'm listening to Makeshift podcast. It's only just right at the start. They've got Austin from High Caliber Craftsman on there, and they were just talking about being productive, and they're talking about writing lists, which I've been starting to do, and using different ways of writing lists, making sure you don't avoid them, ways of using lists on your phone, and checklists, and the whole thing of just constantly pivoting throughout the day. And one of them said, I'm productive all day, but I'm not very productive. Or I'm productive all day, but I don't seem to get much done. That's a bit of how I feel. Like the first 2 days of work with the kids, I was flat out. And it was because I was just doing timetable stuff all day, fixing kids' timetables, etc. And not getting much done at all for my own stuff. Or getting very little done. It didn't feel like I was punching a hole in the stuff I was needing to get done. And like, I've picked up the Year 10 timber class. I'm not really sure where they're at. So when I had them on Friday, it was like figuring out what they've done, what joinery methods they've used, what sort of theory they might have covered. And when I spoke to the other teachers, I know he's been fairly deep diving on some of the theory, and he said, I'm pretty sure if you started again, they wouldn't know. Today, I have Year 8 for the first time in 6 years. The syllabus and the outcomes have changed. I could be a dinosaur, and I said this, I could just go in there and do the projects that I would do with them when I had them last time. And there's nothing wrong with the projects, and there's nothing really wrong with the program. I could easily remold the program into the current outcomes. I don't want to be a dinosaur. I want to try out some of the new things that my faculty have been doing. And I said, like, well, what do you do for the engineering? What are you doing for the mixed materials? Their engineering project is a pinball machine. And so there's a bit more research, there's a bit more finding out about different things. But there's no electronics in it. It's just a simple pinball machine. But the kids get to also be a little bit more designing for themselves as well. And so that's what I want to do with them. But it means that I'm doing the program for the very first time with them as well. I was looking through the program on the weekend. The program is tied very tightly to the unit booklet that they have as well. And I didn't have a copy of the unit booklet because they were just sent down to get photocopied, and I still haven't seen it. So I couldn't, it mentioned things that I just couldn't visualise. I'll be grabbing that this morning. I have Year 11 construction, my brand new class, for the first time today, and I booked a computer room because of the amount of stuff that you've got to get set up. Collection of work and data is done via this with the region, that I feel like I'd be overworking myself to try and do something different. One thing I did do on Saturday, which did take quite a while, was set up my iPad rollbook daybook. The program I've got is called Odosio. I've used it for over 10 years, and it keeps getting better. It's a planner. It's a diary. You can add resources to it, which is one thing I've never really done properly with it. It's a roll book, and I was arguing about whether to use that as the roll because we also have online rolls as the official rolls in the school. So I'm marking the roll twice. If there's issues with the Wi-Fi, you can't mark the roll on the school system, so having that one on my iPad is ideal. I haven't had a physical written day book for years, And sometimes I feel like, just like I've gotten into using a physical diary again this year, I was thinking, like, should I just be grabbing one of those as a day book as well? The one that I've got for the iPad is so good. It's just a matter of keeping in the process of doing it, because when you have the class, you can have written, you know, what the plan was, and then you can add what you did. But I think it's the adding of resources that I think I need to try and do a bit better. Tying the actual program inside it, I don't know. This has become a ramble and I'm at 10 minutes. I felt like I didn't get much done on the weekend, but when I look at the schoolwork I did do schoolwork for 4 or 5 hours on Saturday because it was hot. I didn't want to go outside and I had to get that stuff done. I also got my laundry done, the air conditioning done. I did want to fix my ladder, but there was no way I was going to go and stand outside with a metal ladder to fix that up. Hear that knocking? That's the bigger frogs that we've got. We had a ton of rain last night, and the tadpoles that are in here at the moment, just see those ones, they're actually smaller of the ones that have been in there. See one there. Like some of the tadpoles that are in here at the moment are bigger than the frogs that we had in there before. So it looks like the big frog has had a whole stack of tadpoles. This is when you can tell that we've had a lot of rain because the pond is overflowing and flooded under there again. Damn it. It's the afternoon. I'm in the construction space. It looks like a bit of a disaster zone. E12 was helping me try and clean it up a bit today. I'm getting laptops for the workshop. So I've got a charging cabinet which will hold 15 laptops, and so the E12's helped me out with starting to make this cabinet this morning. So I just came up to finish it off so stuff doesn't just lying around. Was able to attach that to the wall so it won't fall off, and then I just sort of tidied up a bit more stuff. I've got year 11 tomorrow, and I've had them twice so far, yesterday and today, and we've been on the computers trying to get them logged into everything that they need to do. But I'm thinking tomorrow, it's middle of the day, I might get them in here. They can see what the space is like because they've never been in here. Do a little bit of the introduction and induction to the construction space, like where their stuff is, the tools that we've got in here, where things are handled, the space outside, getting them used to what this place is like. The fact that it's not a regular classroom, it's not even a regular workshop, it's a construction space, and we need to treat it as such. We've got the gate to keep it secure, and the fact that they need to have the high-vis, the boots, that's about it. They don't need to wear aprons or anything because they're in a construction zone, and they might help me clean up a little bit more. I kind of doubt it. The year 12 got all of the bins emptied out today of all the scraps, so I might be able to get the year 11s onto a little bit of just handsaw practice, cutting, marking, chiseling, that sort of thing, because I don't think that many of them did woodwork in year 10. first lesson with Year 11 doing prac, Year 11 construction. Bell's just gone, and we can see boots outside, boot rack, there's tools around, there's vests, there's these. They haven't quite packed up right, and the next class that I have in here is them on Friday, because we got the swimming carnival tomorrow. So I decided I'm going to leave it like this, and when they come in they can see how they basically left it and the impact of that on the next day on site. I think the only ones I'll do is I'll bring these boots in from outside so I can close the door. But other than that, they worked really well. They were very productive, they were cooperative, helping each other out. So that's really what counts on a construction site. But yeah, pack up is a big deal. Really not sure what they think. Like, the only thing that I said to them is folders here, pieces of timber here that they were marking out on, and then boots and tools and everything away. So we got boots down here, tools, folders are wet, that's where I left them, tools, a vest, the boots. Some of them tried, but they'll slowly learn. I said this was their very first time in here, getting used to the new space.